So, welcome, guys, to another episode of Guest List, our podcast. Here we have our guest and, our friend,
Yeah,
Daniel,
totally.
aka Disrespects.
Hello. Howdy.
How are you, bro?
I'm good, man. Good. A little frazzled because I had this gig that I had to do this morning, so I woke up at like 6 a.m. to
6
work on
a.m.?
that. Yeah. So I'll
Okay,
I'll need a nap before tonight for
Okay,
sure.
now makes sense
Yeah.
why you were like, okay, I don't know.
Totally, exactly. Yeah, and it was just like it was like bad instruction at first, so I was doing like the wrong thing for like
Oh,
the
shit.
first half. Not so bad, but yeah. So I'm good to like now. I'm feeling good, getting more into the zone.
Well, graphic design or
Editing. So
Editing.
editing, but with video.
Okay.
So
Takes
motion
so much
graphic
time.
stuff. Yeah, exactly.
like I try to make my content as raw and simple as possible, so I have more time. And
That's-
even that just takes a lot of time.
Exactly.
And I cannot
Even
imagine.
even when you think you're working smarter, it's still it's just
lot.
tedious. It's just tedious stuff
Yes.
too, right? Yeah.
So, bro, can you give us a little bit of introduction about you and your creative side?
Yeah.
How
Totally.
this project of Disrespect started?
Yeah, how I got into all of it. Yeah. So goes back a couple years to in Halifax. Basically over COVID, and it's a similar story everywhere. Like bars were shut down. There weren't really spaces for people to go out and do things, and then a bunch of these little underground parties started popping up, and they were awesome. Like they're the coolest little spaces. Like I don't know, like a movie type shit that people are like, you go back behind the building and the entrance is between the fence and like the door and etc. But yeah, these super cool parties. So Rhythm and Color was one to start off. I don't know if they were the first ones, but they were quite early. Duvet and Sui. Duvet doing like discotheque, which is still happening down in Halifax.
Yeah.
But these Rhythm and Color nights were these sort of underground, like just a random room. Sometimes the location would change. A lot of them were held in sort of this one spot, though, called The Room, which everyone sort of harkens back to as like a kind of a golden era, I guess. So it's a super fun time to be there. All these parties popping up, doing super fun stuff. Exploria Sound being one of them, too. Yeah, just really people just organizing parties, and I started going to them. And I had been like a little bit into electronic music. I'm into every music. Like I'm into
Yeah.
most things. Like I
That's
can
why
really
we're
get,
DJs.
exactly, totally. So like I can really get into most things, and I've had like I'm sure a very similar journey to a lot of people in terms of what their music tastes were. Like, an angsty teenager, you're listening to death metal or whatever, and then you think you're cool, so you're listening to rap and hip hop and
Yeah.
But
You go through all those phases.
exactly. But so these parties were super awesome and such a cool space, and the people there, I think that was like really a big draw. The people, like everyone there is just there to dance, and
Yeah.
people are dancing crazy, and so that just opened up my, I guess, experience to it all. Of like these are the spaces where you can get together and just like, obviously strip away all of the hard things in life, I guess, for a minute. And nobody sees you other than like this person that's dancing, really,
Yeah.
right? So really cool space. And, then I went to Future Forest Festival. And that's like when you get to sound systems like that, and when
Yeah.
you like feel it for the
Yeah.
first time, it's such a crazy experience.
And the community that you need
Exactly,
there.
exactly. And like the community sort of extends all through that too. And so yeah, going to these parties, networking a little bit. And one of the organizers of Exploria actually, Fog FM, so Fog FM and Perkwork, they're the ones who started off. I chatted with him, Mitch, at one of the nights, just saying like I was interested in getting into it. Like this is so cool. Like these nights are awesome.
Yeah.
And he had an old DDJ SB2, I think it was. One that's just like Serato plug into your laptop controller. And he's like, it's just collecting dust if you want to have it. So he gave it to me free. And I just started ripping on that for a little bit, teaching myself for the most part. I thought about doing like courses and stuff, but I guess I'm more of a person that
Trial and error.
yeah, I kind of got to do it.
Yeah,
I just
me
kind
too.
of have to do it, you know. And that's my advice I've given to people. Like, you just got to do it, and that kind of comes across for everything. But yeah, so I started learning, teaching myself, and yeah, more and more networking, kind of making more friends in the community, until until landing my first gig at Lighthouse.
Nice.
And that was super awesome. But like, you know, I'd been friends with them for years. And yeah, so I guess that was like kind of the start of
That's how you
my
kicked
whole
off
thing.
there.
Exactly, yeah. Because then it's like, I don't know, it's a whole different thing for before you ever perform versus when you do. The shift and like, oh, okay, wait, I can actually just do this. I don't know, you know, it's like, feels like a big hurdle maybe.
It's like a mental barrier.
Totally.
Of like
Exactly.
overcoming that kind of fear or like
Yeah.
that kind of like mental challenge. And once that
Totally.
you're like, oh, like it's actually I can just do it.
Exactly. And I'm sure that's like the case with everything, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so started just kind of getting gigs here and there. I started to try and push myself out a little more. So in Halifax, like things were starting to open up again, and there was a bar that opened up, and so during this time too, I should go back a little bit. During this time, with all these bars being gone, there was no like safe space for queer people.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the gay bar, there was, and you know, I moved to Halifax in 2017, and there was only 2 spaces, anyways.
Okay.
And you know, not the biggest city, but so there was already limited spaces, and then they were all gone. So these nights, these underground raves, were pretty much like those safe spaces.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like it was just like an unspoken rule that just the people exactly. But where was I going to this one? Sorry, my brain is like so scrambled today. Okay, so yeah, I kept playing, and so the queer bars started opening up, and I think it was just like the timing's right that these spaces came in, so I started like connecting in with the owners there at those spaces, and I was able to sort of get my foot in the door a little bit. And I played with some other organizers a bit at these shows, especially at Rumors, which is like the sort of like the gay nightclub down in Halifax. Started playing with other organizers for a bit. Until,
I think those clubs are the funnest club that you can go, right?
Totally. But it really does sort of depend. It's like it's a space that needs to be venue. I think these days, like it's like it needs to be a venue, and you need to bring in so many different things. That's why, like, all I've heard about Baba's is how awesome it is, because it's like you get everything.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and that's like one of the coolest spots. And that's like I think any space should try to strive for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, someone who started taking on like organizing some events for Rumors asked me to play them again, and they were just kind of more of the parties that I don't know, how do I phrase this? It's like there wasn't any parties that kind of felt like those underground nights, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And once all the bars and clubs started opening up again, like the frequency of those nights started to dwindle a lot. And so there was quite a gap, like quite a long time, maybe like 6+ ish months where there was none of those events happening at all.
Okay.
And so yeah, I was approached by someone who was kind of doing some events at Rumors to play another event, but then I was like, hey, like, you know, I know this whole demographic, like this whole crew of people that love these nights, this kind of music, this kind of culture and atmosphere. Like, I've got an idea for it. The name kind of came to me and just kind of went off with it. And it's gone off, like, it's really popped off in Halifax.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how does it feel having, like, a really successful project, like, in 1 year or 2 years almost?
Yeah.
First year. It's going to be the first year, yeah.
Exactly. So we're going to have the first year at the end of January. And it's, I don't know, it's surreal. Like, it's hard to... I guess it's hard to, and I say this all the time, it's like it's hard to, I guess, really take it in, like take in the gratitude. And maybe you feel the same thing too. It's like, obviously I appreciate everyone giving their appreciation, but I'm like, also at the same time, I guess it's because I like doing it, but it doesn't feel like it's a hard thing.
Exactly.
Right? So it's not like hard work. I guess I'm hitting the nail on the head for the most part.
But like the thing that it's crazy is that you do the graphic, like everything, like
Exactly.
the graphic design and like
Totally.
I hire a graphic design. Shout out to Daniela.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Yes.
Because like I cannot imagine like even having to deal with the project management thing and then editing plus the graphic design that
Totally.
takes more time. So yeah,
Totally.
props to you,
So
man.
yeah, like, and this is kind of like what has been so fun about this project. Is it's taken kind of all my skills. So my background, like I started out as a photographer, kind of freelance stuff, and then I moved into video production and graphic design. I've kind of dabbled in everything, and worked for the most part as a video editor, and like videographer or director, etc. But in video production.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was great to have that skill because then I could really just make it mine.
Yeah.
And I don't have to like guide someone to tell them what I want to get or even like look for approval from someone else, which like that has bit me in the ass before. Like I've typoed on posts before, and it's like so sometimes it's nice to have someone to check over stuff, but also for the most part, like it's just total creative freedom. Like I'll go in, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to start designing like the next thing, and it just kind of flows and comes out eventually. And and I think that's what really helps, at least in the day of the digital age of social everything. It's like you got to kind of sell what the vibe is, and like I think if you do that, like I'm going to say like at the there's just some like I'm going to say mostly older owners of like bars and clubs that just do like the bare minimum Canva stuff or whatever. Like I think it's getting to a point where, and maybe I'm wrong, but maybe it's personal, but I think it's getting to a point where people see that. Yeah. It's like, okay, this is like thrown together. You looked up your like AI caption and you chose the first one. Like at least pick it out and at least do exactly something like that. But so I think like how you present yourself, and I think that's what's helped me a lot with it too. Yeah. And like little reels, and like I've got a little bit of marketing knowledge, but I haven't been following like a playbook or anything either. I just kind of know it's like some things like every now and then, the algorithm wants people to see a face. So like if you're getting so bad, eventually you got to just like post something, just keep eyes on whatever you're doing. But yeah.
That's great. Like that's a great actual like start, like how explanation. How do you start your project? So now, can you tell us a little bit about like where you grab your inspiration from as a DJ? Mm-hmm. Like where all your musical selection comes from, or your sound?
Yeah. So the genre that really, I mean, everyone kind of starts with house, but like minimal house was really like it hooked me, it like grabbed me, and just with the, I don't know, it's after like experiencing it in person with like huge systems like that. But discovery wise, it's like I will find like if it like grabs a hook or something, and like sometimes if I'm really digging, but if I'm like fast digging, I'm like going through and like I'm listening to maybe 2 or 3 seconds of a song sometimes, and if it gets like someone will get that thing, and then from there you like will record label, the artist, whatever else they have on their releases, and but record labels and then going to artists from that record label and going to those record labels that they're onto. That's the same way I do it sometimes. It's like if I'm trying to find like a sound, I'll just go to like to the song that I like, and then to the record label, then to the artist, and kind of like start digging somewhere around there, and then you can find something cool. Totally.
But and what genres do you like playing the most? Just a minimal house, yes. But
totally, yeah. So I really love, and this is something that I love about DJing too, is like kind of sometimes knowing who you're playing for, and being able to plan for that. But then also like being like the times that you just get to play whatever you want. I tend to lean more into like the minimal house, techno, trance. I love sort of airy, dreamy,
Yeah.
psychedelic type of sounds. Um, yeah, and more like driving stuff than like big build-ups
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah, I mean it's a terrible way to say it. I'm like fumbling over all my words. Yeah, okay, let me say this again. So yeah, like mostly. Oh my god, where am I going?
It depends also
Yeah,
of the
totally.
night, right? Because like
Exactly.
like for example, the way that I describe it is like I like tension. I like creating tension and release, but also I don't like a big progressive build up where like it just takes forever and then
Totally.
like it depends of the situation. Like for me to play that, I don't play progressive, but like to me to hear that, it can be a night that like I like it, I
Totally.
enjoy it. No, if it's at the beginning of the night, like that's perfect. But, yeah.
100%. 100%. Yeah. I think what I was going to try and get to is being able to know or like having a sense of who you're playing for and then planning a set around that. Either that, who you're playing for, at the time when you're playing.
Yeah.
Like I love to kind of like cater to a time or crowd. A big example of that would be I closed out Halifax Pride this year
Yeah.
on the Friday night.
Oh yeah,
So it was like
that looked crazy. How many people were there?
I think they
Over 1,000.
sold. Yeah, I think they sold maybe around 4 for that first night. I think there's like all the Garrison grounds in total is maybe 5 or 6
That's
thousand.
crazy. Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, pretty big, and that was the biggest stage I ever played for. I was shitting my pants all day long, and it was like in situations like that, and I'm sure maybe you've experienced this too, like that felt like my first big thing. It's like a huge stage, and all day I was so terrified.
Did
I'm
this
like,
happen to you where like you were looking what the moment came and then you were looking at the mixer and stuff and you were like, okay, I don't know how to do this.
that it was that all
For the first 30 seconds, and then you're like,
it was
okay.
literally all day long. I was like going into panic attack pretty much, like until getting up there for sound check. So they did do a sound check, and yeah, as soon as you turn it on, I'm like, okay, I know what I'm doing, like, but yeah, nerves are just things. It's just because you care so much about what you're doing. And you don't want to fuck it up and also make a fool of yourself.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so for this Pride show, I played a lot of really fast stuff because another portion of why I started up Sauna is just in the queer space specifically. There was a lot of like these parties, and they're super fun. I love them. I played a bunch of them, but like shirtless man parties, which is great, super fun. But Halifax, just in general, it doesn't have the population to support that all the time.
Yeah.
And these underground nights, I had started to bring some more of my friends out to them and more and bring more in. And like, people love this music. People love this music. They just don't really realize it.
Yeah.
So, without trying to sound like too cringy.
They need more exposure to
Exactly. Without starting to sound like too cringy or like I'm pushing on people. But like, yeah, that was another portion. It's like, I want to bring this awesome music to the gays that might be able to experience it some more, and grow an appreciation to it. But so for this set, that was kind of where I was coming from. I'm like, okay, I'm going to feed the crowd a lot of techno, and like hard groove.
Nice.
So doing that, but at the end of the day, these are all just regular people. Most of them are listening to pop music, etc. This is like a rave party, so you got that, but it can't be
that underground or like
exactly.
That, yeah.
It can't be so crazy that they'll lose interest. So I think I don't know. I'm pat myself on the back for this, but I think I did a really good job on finding a lot of like techno tracks that had a really recognizable lyric come in, or even if it wasn't a recognizable one, just some sort of lyrics to come in. And that just kept people going the whole time. And also there were so many like little cursed edits I played, like 140 BPM Donna Summer, no 160 BPM Donna Summer, like almost psytrance track for hot stuff, and it was so good. But yeah, like that's something I really enjoy doing. Is playing for that, but obviously another portion or another reason to do sauna is to play what I wanted. Also.
100%. To be able to, how can I say it? Just do your own kind of environment or like sound inside your party. That's why I love one thing about your flyers is that you always say like minimal acid like house blah blah trance. Like I like that because like already people know what to expect there.
Exactly,
You know?
exactly. And I
So-
do like having that as like something to expect. But I always had put like and beyond. Because I think that's a portion, like I started this to be able to play what I wanted to do. So I'm not, as much as possible, and like people sort of know the vibe and the general sound of it. And I think that's an unspoken rule amongst DJs in general. Like
Yeah.
usually there will be, and if not, you ask. But the, God, fuck. I keep losing my thought. God, what were we just on?
About the parties
Yes.
and the sound, the genres that you play, minimal acid and
Yes.
beyond.
Okay. So sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
So I've got it like listed on the flyer so people know what to expect and
Yeah.
and if they want to come and hear that stuff. But it's all I've always put beyond at the end because I want people to play what they want to also.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
going to limit anyone to play whatever they want or to not. But yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So have you dived a little bit into production? Last time that we talked at Spotfest, like almost what, like 4 months ago,
Yeah.
you were talking about that you were getting classes or like some.
Yeah. I was just starting, and I haven't really dove into it as much as I'd liked to. Hoping like over this winter break, maybe
Yeah,
like
exactly.
start it out or something. But yeah, I've been fortunate that I've had like little jobs landing in my lap, so I feel like it's just it's a big mental block for me too. It's like I feel like I've got to like have a completely clear slate to dive into it.
I know, like it's crazy, like but like once that you sit down and you're like, okay, it's more about the learning curve. It goes like this, and then like once that you understand it all, you're like, okay, now I can just.
And totally. And my good friend Alex Cloverdale, shout out Alex, has told me because I'm a video editor,
Yeah.
he's like, you'll pick it up so quick.
Really quick.
Because it's it's a linear timeline type deal. Just like a little couple different things here and there, but at the end of the day,
Same
it's
as
sort of
same
similar.
as video editing, like
Yeah.
one cut here, move
Exactly.
it, boom, 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 and
Exactly.
kind of like that.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of music knowledge. I have zero music knowledge, so like I'm always struggling. Like,
Totally.
it's
I
hard.
get that. Same. So that's also like another block. It's like I'm like, okay, and I've been told that it's you can get into it with you don't need the music knowledge like Alex does.
Yeah.
Started out with none. But yeah, it just seems so daunting.
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
want to so bad. I know.
It is.
It's just
it is.
excuses. It's excuses on my part, really.
But have you tried to do like
I've started it. I've opened it up and I've played with it a couple times and followed along with some little tutorials. But yeah, something pops up and then like a few days go by and I'm like, oh,
And
like,
you're
I
like-
don't even remember what I just
Yeah.
did. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can give you a little bit of just a quick explanation later
Totally.
whenever we go upstairs.
Totally.
But yes, bro. So do you have any? Well, one thing that like we talk about your project Sauna. Like, I actually recommend you can make it a record label too. You know, like you should kind of like once that you get your feet into production
Totally.
and start learning, you can start like you already have a following. You already have like a sound. You already like so
Totally.
just start drawing, signing artists and stuff, and maybe one day like you grow. Like,
totally. And that, like, I would love to do that. And that's what I kind of want to continue also just growing Sauna in general. Haven't heard back yet, but, like, I've applied for some arts grants.
Okay,
and, like,
yeah.
to, like, keep it generally as it is, but maybe adding, because I've been adding for the last couple of shows, I have performance artists that will come and either just be go-go dancers or some of them do flow art. But adding more of that, and for the one that we've got, that you're playing at, the next one, Sauna 5, a friend of mine that does the visuals for, he works with Wasco a lot out in Halifax, but for the past 2 years, he's the one, not the whole time, obviously, because they need to take shifts, but Prism Stage at Future Forest, he's like up,
nice.
he's doing like
Yes,
the VJ
that would
work
be-
for that. So yeah, and like I want to bring on sort of more disciplines, I guess,
Yeah.
for this night.
That would be
you know,
amazing.
Yeah, I think I'll do maybe like a call for some vendors if they want to come out and
Some
sell
tarot
some stuff.
to read the cards and stuff.
Yeah, totally. yeah. Well, I've got a friend of mine too, and this is for the one I'm planning in the spring. But he's a tattoo artist, so like maybe like get like a special body permit for the night.
In Mexico, like in these raves, like you go to the raves and then you have the person who reads the cards,
Yes.
the tattoo artist, like
Yo.
some vendors that selling clothes and like
Okay.
some kind of like some way to clean your spirit with smoke. I don't know how you call it in English, but like it's just really interesting to see that kind of like vendor. Like, it's nice. I
Totally.
think it makes the event a little bit more complete or legit. I don't know. It just gives another vibe of like professional event.
Yeah,
kind of,
totally,
like-
totally. Yeah, and so super excited to sort of see what this continues to grow into,
Yeah.
and not limiting.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
I applied for a arts grant and they told me like you're a DJ like
Right, exactly.
they give them to the singers and the bands
Uh-huh.
here like in PI. I mean it's PI is a little still small.
Totally,
but, like,
totally. I
hopefully
get
next
that.
year.
Exactly. And I understand that. But yeah, I tried to sort of angle it more from a sort of arts night.
Yeah. That's
So yeah, we'll see. I think I should be hearing back in like the next couple of weeks. I think like probably early in the new year.
Nice.
But yeah, we'll see. And then with that too, like they will reply and tell you basically like how to make it stronger.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, and you
That would be
need
cool.
to give them a plan and blah blah.
Totally,
blah. It's
totally.
really nice.
But yeah, I'm juggling this, and then like I'm also juggling sort of keeping my own freelance stuff going on. So like just video editing work, and I think maybe try to like start up a little business this year too with some
Yeah.
pals doing some video stuff.
That's
but
nice.
yeah.
Yeah, how you like freelancing?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. It's been great. I've been very lucky that I have a partner that it's like it is a safety net, but I have done well this
Yeah.
year. So at least well enough to be able to enjoy it and have my time this whole year. So it's been so nice. Like,
Yeah.
oh God, I know.
Having the time, like yeah.
Exactly. And that's the thing too. Like, at the end of the day, I've had time. Like when I started Sauna, the first one, like that was when I was still working, still employed. But because like I remember too, like after a day of work, you come home, you had these plans, and then it's just like
Bro,
you're
like
done.
this is crazy. Like, so my work permit, like I'm still waiting for my PR, permanent residence, blah blah blah. My work permit expired. Blah. I applied for a new one. I put the wrong a wrong number, so that number didn't match with another one, so they deny it. So I had to apply again with the new one. But because they deny it, I'm not able to work until they send the new one back. So I've been literally just like out of work for like two weeks now, and it feels weird because like it's like okay, legally I'm not able to work like to go back to the company that I work.
Yeah,
so I'm
totally.
like okay, what should I do? So and I'm lucky that I have a partner that like she's like yeah, don't worry.
Totally.
And like right now, like I'm using like thinking about I have a lot of time. I'm like okay, I'm just gonna get more certifications for a project manager, human resources, blah blah blah. Kind of like start getting more credentials.
Totally.
And then I'm like, okay, yeah, like I can do that, but at the same time, like I'm doing that, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, when was the last time that I have like, I don't know how long I'm gonna be without work, right?
Yeah, totally.
So, yeah.
Totally. And like that's something else I've heard too. It's like I guess in terms of like bouncing between stuff, if that's what you're saying. But
Yeah.
I don't remember where I heard this, but like someone was saying like entrepreneurs never only have sort of one thing that they do.
Oh, no,
You
like,
know.
it's just
So you're,
we can't keep still. Like,
yeah,
it's just, like-
exactly. And I've never thought of myself as an entrepreneur, but I kind of want to be now because anything that keeps me being able to do work that I do, like any time that I put into something that it's mine and that I get something back from it.
Yeah.
Because, like the security is great of like, having a salary, having benefits, all that. It's awesome.
It's great,
amazing.
but having the time, we
Having the
cannot buy
time, having the
man.
time,
Like,
and having the time to like build something. And like, you know what? I feel like we're gonna be nuked tomorrow. So it's like, I don't know.
literally, like I don't know what's gonna happen.
Exactly.
So like, yeah, bro. Do you have any more plans with your project or personal plans? Like, have you applied to the festivals?
I've applied. I've only applied to one so far. I put the deadlines in, so I'll probably apply for Future Force again. I applied for Hope and Wellness.
Yeah.
Um,
Are the deadlines? Don't know. I think the deadlines are in January. No.
Possibly. I just like I was at my computer and they weren't looking for a new set, so I just applied with like some of the
Oh,
stuff that I
shit.
had like the first time that they posted it up.
I've been procrastinating recording a new set. That's why I haven't applied.
Right?
Like,
Totally.
I have a couple
But
saved there, so
I
I'm
think
just gonna.
that's like another thing too is, and like this is advice to people, is like if you like have a presence, it's gonna increase your chances. I think.
Yeah.
If people see that you're doing stuff in your community, that it's gonna increase your chances tenfold. Like you can have the smoothest mix ever, but if it's just you and
In your bedroom,
like nobody knows you, that's like you're not gonna go anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing that actually like it helps a lot to kind of like get your name out of there, go network.
Exactly.
Put your name out there.
And like you go as, push as much skill as you can, but at the end of the day, it's like people are going to see that you're passionate about something.
Yeah.
And they're going to push that more than your flawless mix.
Yeah, exactly. I have one question. What has been the biggest encounter, like in a negative way that you have? No, how can I say it? Like just a problem that you had in your project, or that you kind of like you were like, okay, like how the fuck am I gonna do this or get out of this? But like you were able to overcome that.
I mean, I think maybe like go all the way back, like everything. Like everything to start off, I had no idea what I was doing. So yeah, I've kind of like learned how to kind of do it all. But I don't think there's not really been much that has been like super negative, I think, that I've experienced yet. It's always like, oh, how is it going to do? Are people going to come? Is it going to be a good time? And thankfully, those have all been really good. And it was not until the first one that you kind of see the numbers that you're able to say, like, okay, I'm able to like put this much into this and this much into this, et cetera. And then after a couple that have done well and have been consistent, I guess the confidence gets more and more of like what I can bring on all these people. Because also, I'm sure it should be a given, but people don't know this. Like, or some people don't know this, but every show is like everyone is just like hoping that you're gonna like first have a good time, but also get paid. And that doesn't happen until it's support. I guess I don't know what I'm trying to say. Fuck. Going over all my words. Okay.
Yeah, like it's hard to kind of like before the night starts. It's like, okay, is people gonna come? It's like at least you guys do ticket sales. That I think that helps, or to give a little bit more of kind of like knowledge of how many people is coming already.
Totally.
Here it's really hard to
Totally.
Here it's too small to kind of start selling like tickets online.
Yeah, exactly.
We tried, it didn't work. It's just people is just to just come and pay, and then that's
exactly. And then also at the end of the day, like people do that too. So if you're super worried about any tickets at the end of the last day of sales, you're gonna have probably double show up. And pay in cash. So I haven't had anything yet terrible go down. So that's
that's good.
Yeah.
I mean that means that you've been prepared and like you've been doing everything in the right way, because like sometimes like things can get a little bit tricky with booking artists or like with the venue booking to people or whatever.
100%. Yeah, and not to say that there isn't like little kinks that need to be worked out here and there, but it's never been anything that has been terrible. And I'm just being reminded of a quote from my good friend Jody. Shout out Jody, DJ Mommy. That your biggest, she's a bookkeeper, by the way. She's also my bookkeeper. But the biggest return on your investment is kindness.
Okay.
So like at the end of the day, if you are treating the bar owners with respect, treating your patrons with respect, like anyone, if you're it's going to be reflected. Yeah,
exactly. It's just what's another way to say it? Like treat someone like you would like to get treated.
Totally,
kind of.
exactly,
Like,
exactly,
if you treat me
exactly.
with respect, like
Totally, totally. Yeah. And yeah, for the most part, I think the people in Halifax are just super nice too.
yeah,
And if you don't cross them, they're not going to cross you. But yeah, I think you got to be flexible, not be married to ideas
Yeah.
or things too. It's like, it's a night at the end of the day. It's going to be done in a couple hours. Like,
yeah, exactly.
you
By
know.
the end of the night, you're gonna be like, okay, chilling, just like, okay,
Exactly.
that night we're good. Like,
Totally,
just-
totally. So, yeah, I think just as long as and I think that's what's been my advantage, not advantage, but just even though my DJ name is Disrespects, I tend to respect people as much as possible, and that's just always come to be in my favor.
That's a cool name. How do you came out with that?
Yeah, it's literally, so I'm sure everyone does it too, but I went through so many different names trying to figure out something. But that was my Instagram handle. And like I had some friends in some other friend groups that like referred to me as that. And like I know some people just get that in general. Like if there's a couple of the same name person, you might just call them by their handle or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I just landed on that because of the handle, but in thinking in a bit of strategic way too.
Yeah.
Like, am I going to try and start something brand new? Try to get people to follow people, which doesn't happen anymore for the most part. Yeah. A whole different thing. But that being said too, like in a way that I'm like trying not to be, because I also hate, let's say like if your friend turns their personal Instagram into their like realtor Instagram account.
Oh yeah.
You're like, just make a new. I don't want to see the homes that you're selling. Like,
but I also don't want to follow the new one that you just did. So
exactly,
it's like, okay,
exactly. So it's like trying to find a balance of like, yeah, it still is my personal account, and I think like at some point I may change it, but I think it's served me well.
I think it suits you like well.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
you all will know. Like you shouldn't change it.
Okay,
like for me,
you.
it was really hard. Like I play sports all my life. And like I had friends with the same name as me, and I never got like a nickname. So I was like, I've been thinking like, what can be my? I couldn't find one. I was like, no, like like just Javier Fernandez. A little bit stands out a little bit here because of it's more Latin, I guess.
100%. Yeah.
Just,
totally.
But
so yeah, that's where it came from, and yeah, people like it too. So that's great.
It's a good, yeah. It's
that's
a good
great.
one.
Uh-huh.
Anything that you want to share with us?
Yeah, nothing that comes straight to mind other than super excited for tonight.
What should we expect for tonight?
Yeah, you should expect super groovy driving, a little bit fast. Yeah, hypnotic,
yeah,
body moving stuff.
That's perfect, man. Well, I think where can they find you?
You can find me Instagram Disrespects, easy, and then Sauna, my party Sauna _sounds. That's the handle.
Yeah.
I'm like going back and forth. Okay, and Sauna Sounds you can find at Sauna _sounds on Instagram.
Okay, perfect, man. Well, thank you so much, guys, for watching. You for coming, bro.
Boom. Thank you.